Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the TechGuy podcast. Episode, I think it's number 11, no, I think 12. Um, so in this episode we have three major headlines I want to talk about. But the bonus episode did not came actually last week. I wanted to make it did not came because I was working on something different. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk a little bit before what this podcast is going to be and what has changed about the method and the the way this podcast is going to work. So that's why I didn't do the announcement or even that bonus episode I wanted to make about the things I want to talk generally. So I will talk at a little bit here in this episode at the intro only. So the thing was before even you know uh, before the bonus episode was aired, like when I announced that I was gonna last week, I said when I was gonna basically make a bonus episode. The reason why I didn't make it because I drastically changed so many things. I was like, I should not just go and make video and then change it like later again. So the changes, what before making the changes, what was going to be. So basically I was going to do Monday to Thursday newsletter, and on Friday there is going to be podcast, which was earlier also, definitely. But what I was going to do was basically going to do now another refresh method, or you can say uh, a unique way of me creating things. What I was going to do was basically making Monday news section, that is your weekly wrap of tech what is going to, and Wednesday another news, not a news, multiple things where multiple news I have heard, but a specific deep dive, specific things I want to talk about in depth. So that was going to be my one Wednesday, and Thursday again Friday there is going to be podcast. But then again I thought, I think that would not be an idea because it was before and that didn't work quite well for me, I think. So now the refreshed look, what I am going to do here is basically make only one newsletter, that is on Monday. So only there is going to be the Monday news section, and on the Monday news section and the Friday podcast, these are only going to be two things right now, because I am also working on another main channel work, that is there will be 10 to 20 minutes, basically those kind of videos will be there uploaded. I am working because those will be detailed and well scripted videos, because that is not a podcast, that is going to go on a separate channel. But on this podcast, this I wanted to also do podcast, I also wanted to do newsletter where I talk about, well, not talk but do a weekly wrap of tech. And I wanted to not just rely on one medium of form of communication with audience. So what I'm going to do, so or like it has been started. So from now on, if you're seeing this, what I have what I have done on this whole production line, now you can sign up for my newsletter for free, which was free led. Before also, you can go read my all previous ones which are free on my Substack down below in the description. But you can go and subscribe to my newsletter, which you will be getting Monday news session, which is basically a tech weekly a tech wrap, which will definitely kind of you want to be, because why you want to be is because that will be connected to the podcast. So basically Monday week wrap, the whatever news are going to see, those news will be covered on the podcast. So basically what I will be doing is, whenever you read the Monday newsletter, that is a tech weekly wrap you can say, or Monday news section, where you have multiple news covered in the tech industry going on, in the end of that newsletter I will state that some these are the topics, so you will already know what topics I'm going to discuss. And also you can go and subscribe to my newsletter to follow up, or even have a one-to-one communication with, you can just have a Substack app, or you can just go and basically subscribe to my email. Basically it is also an email available in email format. Basically you can reply on my email there too, so which will be much more helpful for as an in easy communication, you can go and subscribe there, which will be a kind of an good for you to know what I am going to talk on Friday newsletter, sorry, on Friday podcast, which is a good thing. And also I will be doing their Q&A before that I am going to upload. Like multiple things will be done before there, which will begin before there, which will be updated there too, before even I say anything on YouTube, because on podcast, because podcast is a big thing to do, and production whenever I'm doing it takes a long time to do it. It's like mostly take 2 days in terms of production line when I record this, and then I want to edit it. So that is one thing, and there is going to be a basic thing, basic uh, def- definitely changes in the podcast editing format. So if you have watched the last podcast at least half an hour into it, you would have seen a short break in there basically. So I'm going also adding a short break section basically in the in between basically topics, so that I can have a break while I'm recording. Also I do take a short break after every topic, but I don't want to just cut edit to that second part and jump cut. But what I want to do and have a short break in that, and I will give you any type of updates in that break, any type of, let's say if I have a sponsorship, there will be in that ad break, and if I have something to announce, if I have something to discuss with you guys in the next week, or what I want to something announce, I will be announcing in the short break. So basically it is kind of an, you can say, a commercial kind of a thing where you have a break in between. So do not skip those kind of things, because sometimes it may have something important messages, but most of the time it is just my promotions or newsletter stuff. But that is kind of a format for now. um, do subscribe, basically it's free, but I will definitely say look forward to the content on the podcast I'm going to do in future, because not just future, like 3 to 4 months from now, this podcast has done multiple changes. From the next week we are definitely changing drastically, even from this format, and you will going to see it not just drastically but step by step, but you will feel it drastically, because for me it's a step by step process. I'm doing it for mostly more than 1 month, how I can improve it. So I hope that solves thing everything. If, and again I want to say that even if whenever I'm, the Friday is the day where podcast get uploaded, even if the Friday is not get did not get kind of an upload podcast get uploaded, I will do an YouTube post, and I will also do Substack post or whatever on those both platforms. If, and you will, I will let you know that podcast is coming to Saturday or Sunday, because sometimes when I'm doing different things I have to take a break with the podcast editing stuff. At least recording is can be done, but editing is kind of a big task. So I hope that solves the issue. So whenever there is going to be delay in future, I will be updating mostly on YouTube, not on Substack also, but mostly on YouTube here. But I hope so look forward to that too, if there is going to be delay. So let's just start the today's episode. So we have three headlines I think that we are going to talk in this episode. The first one is Samsung Galaxy S25 Unpack event I want to talk about. Second one is OpenAI Deep and Research. Basically Deep Research new agent they have launched last week basically. And the third one is basically Meta replacing Factcheckers, which has been more than 1 month. I think will be having more than, which it has been announced more than 2 weeks now, but I have covered it on my newsletter, and why they do it, but I also want to talk about more in this um, news in this podcast, because I did it back then. It was just kind of a news for me, and see, it is more kind of an uh, kind of an research, kind of an own interpretation kind of a thing. So I was just looking how the things have changed, or if, even if they have changed, or what is my experience in with fact checkers, or what is my experience with like multiple platforms, like how basically X does it, or how basically Meta does it, or like what kind of interaction I have, or what kind of stuff that fact checkers do are even valid, or even kind of a thing you can say. Or do we really need fact checkers, or fact checkers are so important that community notes is not that good, because Meta is going towards community notes and they have said it. So it is a kind of an that space. I can tell you why they did it, I can tell you why people are not happy with it, but I also wanted to give my opinion on it. So yeah, that is why it was important, because even if it's 2 week old news for you guys, if you are on the internet, and if you don't know, I will definitely give start it from zero, from giving context obviously. So let's just start today's podcast. So I think we will start with the Samsung Galaxy event S25, which was good. I think I saw the event live again. Every event I saw, like, heads up to if anyone is watching, I don't know, but uh, I have all my socials linked down in the description. So basically, whenever there is event like Samsung Event 25, Unpacked event, Apple's WWDC, or uh, even events like Google Pixel that will be happening in the May this summer. WWDC happen in June, I think, and then every live event, actually, at least big events like that, or even CES kind of an event, I do kind of do try to give a live updates and my thoughts about it on my socials, especially Threads, Twitter, or Blue Sky, or Mastodon, whenever I am available on all the platforms. But if you are available on one of the federated platforms, you can just search me up by my name, and you will find my account, which is threads.net. Basically, I am available. With the help of that, my Fediverse is on, so you will be getting my updates if you are on the Fediverse. And if you are on X, I am also there too, and you do give my updates. So uh, look forward to it. If you want to have live interaction with me, or like have kind of a live reactions, or even live updates what is happening, and want to get clear, if like, because lots of people want to buy new products and want to have clarification kind of an on early basis, because podcast is always going to be like Friday one. So Samsung event I was watching live, and as I always say, why they do live events, I don't know, but I always love the format of what Apple does. Like, specifically, I started watching events from last 4 years, and the reason I love Apple's events, because they record it early, edit it so well that you can visually good, and basically it is so good visually, and no kind of an uh, and hours. Basically, it is not that the the problem with the live event is because, like, even if it's so scripted to the damn point, even if like, my point is, if you are doing live event and still doing it in so scripted manners, I don't think you should do it personally. Just go, and like, it's not a kind of a big event. Like, if you just record everything and shoot it like Apple what they do, you can have the same reaction from the people, because people will be seeing that same thing at the live show that is already recorded, and you will be. That's what I'm trying to say here. But they didn't. They do kind of a boring event. Last year, Google's event, especially the Google I/O, was so boring. Like, I was about to sleep, especially in first half, like even half an hour. After that whole DJ thing happened, which was quite hyped up. But after that, I was like, what the hell are they doing? They are just coming on the stage and explaining. Boring. But yeah, I mean, my work is that thing, so I was like, I have to watch it. But people who just watch it for fun, I don't think that is fun for people. But yeah, Samsung's they launched their new S25 series. So the new phone lineup is S25, S25 Plus, and S25 Ultra. There are three models. They launched it. The new design does look good for specifically. The reason why I say it does look good, even though it is not a lot of change, there are really subtle changes. Like if you just compare side by side, you will definitely get uh you will definitely see a look kind of a change, and it will be definitely be kind of easy to even recognize which one is new, which one is not, which is better than at least what Apple is doing, at least for now. But they did do some boxy changes like curves on edges, no extra minimum bezels, like the screen is bit extra. But if you want to know the full review, haven't done it. If you want to know the review, I think lots of people have done it, you can go and watch it. I have watched the MKBHD review. As always, I know I recommend, and even watch and even recommend his on majority of the videos, especially whenever I have a common topic in discussion, and I do recommend go watch his videos. So he did a great review in it, and how he talked about, even if there is, it's like what people expect from Ultra, it is not there. So when there is Ultra name S25 Ultra, people expect from an $1,300 phone to have every every feature, so jam packed. Even if they don't use it, how they remove the Bluetooth from S Pen, like there is no IP69, I think. There is no dust, there is no kind of an a display key charger, and display also was the same basically last year. So he was like, if the phone is definitely good, the phone is not kind of an issue here, but removing this couple of small things and not even reducing the price, like what they are getting, you are selling a premium phone at a premium price, just give it to people, so it was kind of an those things, small things for MKBHD. There are other reviews too I have watched. They have definitely improved in photography. I have not, I'm just saying by the reviews, it's okay. So, but majorly the thing I want to talk about from the event, uh, that was basically Gemini X Bixby, or like their Google partnership, what they are doing with the Google basically. So if you don't know what Samsung did with their new voice assistant, how last year they announced basically how they are going into new AI era, and they couple of launched new AI features, and then this year how they revive their, like voice assistant is going to play big part in going to be AI. So they introduce voice assistant, basically it is Google, but it is also using Bixby, so both are there. But what they have done with voice assistant, that should have done years before, like 1 or 2 years before, but they are doing it now in the name of kind of in the term of branding in terms of AI, which is still good, at least we are getting it. But I like how uh, basically they did the integration of voice assistant with their own apps at least. So what they did is basically, let's say when I talk to the Bixby and say, hey Bixby, take a note and uh, you say something, it will take and save that note. It will have that kind of a context beforehand. So the thing is, Bixby will have the context of whatever in is your notes, whatever is in your calendar, whatever is in your mails, and with the help of that context, it will help you with your conversation that you are having with Bixby. Let's say whatever, like even like say 1 week from now, like before 1 week before, you have noted down something on notes, and then you ask Bixby, hey Bixby, like whatever, like Bixby, like you ask Bixby that, hey Bixby, like what was the note that I noted that on like this specific date, and it will tell you like those kind of stuff, which even though I say it and it sounds so basic and it should have done before, but it is going like this is what the things they are doing, like they are integrating the live assistants, basically the voice assistants Bixby and Gemini, both are there with integration with their apps, with their own Samsung apps. Basically, if you use Samsung Notes, if you use Samsung emails, if you use Samsung's calendar, If you use those, it is already integrated in that. I don't know how well it works again, but the reason I was interested in is because at the start of the year I made or even the last podcast I talk about how AI voice assistant is going to be 2025 major kind of in future for most of the companies, like how Google, how even Apple is going to get entered. And even though they have said in the last WWDC or even the latest iPhone 16 AI features, they are saying the Siri has going to get context, but still to this day we haven't got it. Even though I'm using Siri day to day basis, even though I have Intelligence in beta, there is no still to this day updated, publicly updated, uh, uh, publicly given update that the Siri has context and is better than previous one. No, it is still not better. The animation is just have changed, nothing more than that. So, and WWDC is going to be in June. Is like, I don't know. There are rumors that next week the 18.4 beta is going to launch, and I think after 2 weeks from that, I think 18.4 publicly will be launched if there is going to be Siri more content with context, but we don't know. It's still not there. So the first one is already jumped. That is been by Samsung. So the way I talked in the last podcast about the AI voice assistants, that is going to be a major part for this phone. So you don't have to create new features for AI to be said this is what we are doing with AI. It is already there. What you have to do with AI is how you're going to integrate that AI features, that AI capabilities in your older features, like how you are going to integrate AI in camera, how you are integrating AI in your voice assistants, which is not good. If like people are not even using it, how you are going to basically integrate AI in basically majorly all the apps, how like apps, phones, like there are a lot of things. And individual companies, specifically Meta, is doing good with their AIs. Meta AI, like you can see on Instagram how you can generate images with Meta AI, or even doing image generating on WhatsApp. There specifically Meta AI chatbot, basically you can use, which will help you. Which is basically a chat GPT or AI integrated in the WhatsApp, that can be helpful for you to do multiple things. So why not these companies are doing it? So the obviously they are not going to rush it, but the thing is that is how AI is going to get integrated. So my prediction for this year was, when I wrote that newsletter, or even I talked last week about it in my podcast, like how 2025 is going to be great year for voice assistants, and how AI is going to be at least getting to do the basic stuff good, basic stuff right, not getting, you know, and having contextual awareness, having good speech recognition that Siri doesn't have at all. Because I am testing Siri really, really hard here. Because not just hard, but I'm like, what I mean by hard here is basically using such kind of difficult words to get, especially that is why I'm talking about speech recognition. And I even tweeted about it and posted about in on threads on Twitter about how it didn't get certain words, like I'll sit for, I just asked Siri what does I'll sit mean, and it didn't understand. And the same chat GPT, where it has a good voice assistant with good speech recognition, which understands my accent even if it's Indian, and it does have contextual awareness of at least the whole chat, and it does give me answers good. So like voice assistants are there, but just the voice assistants are already good. The voice assistants that out there, like Gemini Live is so good. The ChatGPT, like the newer version, is voice assistant is so good that it's just time to get integrated in your own phone. and it is still not done. I don't know how well Bixby uh, basically is good with speech recognition, but it is there. That is what I actually wanted, and that is what Samsung did actually this year, uh, and that is what I'm excited about, what they are going to do with later this year, and also what Apple will do with the Siri, because I don't think 18.4 is going to have any kind of drastic change. It will have basic speech recognition, basic context, but the thing that I'm waiting for getting integrated with the apps, at least with their own, will be there with iOS 19 only, and will happen in WWDC. And that is why Apple just wanted to get into AI and not wanted to rush things, so they just said that AI is there, but they didn't give us, and still it's not there. And majority of the people don't have AI, Apple users. Like majority of people, like Apple intelligence can be only be used by the iPhone 16 users and iPhone 15 Pro users. That I'm luckily I do have iPhone 15 Pro, so majority of the Apple users who are using even 15, 14 Pro, 15, 13, it's like every other older model doesn't going to have Apple intelligence. So it is kind of a big bet for these companies to start slow but start good with Apple intelligence. That is what they're going to aim basically. uh, and that is what I think this, and they have to understand, like they have to keep interest, like have good stuff with their older models too, like what are the basic things that have to integrate it, that new features they want to do expect except AI. That is also a thing. So AI voice assistant is going to be a big thing in WWDC in 2025. Samsung has did, and Google will definitely do it with their Google Voice Assistant. I hope they do it, and I hope they just don't say you have Gemini live and that can do it. We need a proper integration in Google Assistant. Hey Google, we want in that, not just Gemini. Gemini is not a voice assistant; it's an AI. But I think Google is such a good have an opportunity that they are not using it. But voice assistant is going to be a good big thing in this year. That is the thing that I was excited with the Samsung event basically. And I hope other big companies like Samsung, OnePlus, I don't know OnePlus they did it or not. I think with voices I don't think they did it, but I think Google, Apple and Samsung are going to do it first. Let's hope what they do it, and I'm looking forward to nothing also, like what they are going to do, how nothing is going to implement AI in their nothing 3 phones, which will be interesting to see. Like it's a new company, it's like a fresh new company, with new people in it working on with fresh design language. So I hope something we can get interesting out of from them with AI features this year, because they are the company who are doing it with mid-range, and they are just killing it with their product lineup, not just with phones but with headphones, but with CMF for products. They are just really good at that. So I hope this year lots of companies try to do voice assistants, because that is what I really want to. But aside from that, I think Samsung also announced their Samsung Edge at the, like they gave a little bit teaser at the end of the episode, the end of the event. And we do have multiple images of it, like you are seeing it right now. I think, I hope I do get the images, but it is basically a smaller version, uh, like Edge. If you are not familiar with the Samsung Edge series, basically Edge means they are like slimmer version and much more. So basically Samsung had multiple, basically like Samsung Galaxy, uh, I think Note, Samsung Galaxy S series and Samsung Galaxy S in Edge. Basically there was three multiple series that Samsung had, and they merged Samsung Galaxy Note and Samsung Galaxy S series with one another, and they are bringing the Samsung Galaxy Edge with another model kind of a version. So it is just a slimmer phone with new camera design. By just looking for it, I think it is not going to be in premium version, premium price, but it is going to be in mid-range or above mid-range kind of, like in, let's say, a 500 or $600 kind of a phone range, where Google Pixel A series or Samsung A series lies. Or that, I think that is where they will be pricing edge, I think, because they are giving something fresh look, they are giving something new. It is kind of a nostalgia, and it is kind of a like kind of a competitive product for what Apple is going to be making this year, that is iPhone 17 Air, basically a slimmer version of iPhone that is going to line up by Apple. So I think it is kind of a competition, and till I think May or June, when WWDC will be dropping, or even in October, like just 1 month before October, they can just launch it. They already have it. The reason why they didn't launch it is that I think they just don't want S25 to be overshadowed by S20. Yes, like Edge series, because people do love Edge and people do love smaller and slimmer phones, because it's just so good to grab it. Like people, how people loves iPhone 6, like 8 series, because they are smaller, they are compact, they have good battery life, like 8 hours battery life, like it can last 1 day at least, and people just want that only, and with a good uh, a justifiable camera at that price range. That is what people want. And if they can penetrate another good market with that price range, that is what they are trying to do. And they are not ditching the new series, but creating a new format where people will get, because Samsung do have multiple, like they have their M series, which is lower end, basically like $150, I think $100, you can get those series. You have A series Samsung, which is kind of a middle premium range, mid-range kind of a phone, that is $200 to $500 range. And then there is premium S plus and S fan edition FE, and S plus, that is also a lower end of ultra, that is high end. And then there is ultra, which is basically all maxed out. And that is what I think Apple is going to do with the Air also, going to integrate, and that is what they are trying to do with SE. And rumors are there that they are going to launch SE, but we don't know it ultimately still to this day. Like there are rumors, and Apple is just going to launch it without an event, just going to just launch it and see what basically happens. But we still, it still is a rumor, and we are seeing a lot of design leaks. But I hope, people are saying it is going to get launched in next week. If it is, I'm going to talk about it, because I did have iPhone SE second version. I would glad to see what they are doing with the new one. But that is what I think overall they are trying to do every phone, like trying to capture new market, because they ultimately know premium is premium, like there is limit to that kind of an audience which are going to buy that product. Because even I, as a tech enthusiast, is if a product is good and overall good, and which has something, providing something different, like nothing provides a premium phone and something kind of a different, I can switch to that. I don't care, I need to have a good camera. If it's just a decent camera, like I can't tell a difference, I think, just by clicking one or two photos, uh, giving side comparison which S25 is better, or Ultra is better, or uh, iPhone 16 Pro or is better. Because like, or even for like general people, like people who just buy phone, like to do want to have phone for at least for next couple of years, they just don't know the difference, like they can't get it. But I can ultimately make kind of a side by side comparison, do it. It's ultimately now they are so maxed out, the Ultra series and the Pro series from iPhone, that they have to penetrate in the new market. I think that's why they are doing Air, and the Samsung is introducing their Edge series. So it is what it is. But another thing, interesting thing, that Samsung didn't announce in their event. I was seeing the whole event there. It was, I don't know if it was in the event, I just how missed it while I was tweeting about it, those kind of updates. But Samsung also introduced their own VR, like their competition to Vision Pro, which just looks like Vision Pro. Like, just compare these two photos. Like, are those two at Samsung? Which one is Samsung? Like, if you have not seen the Samsung one, you would not have been able to differentiate it, you know. And that is what, like, literally it is kind of an looks like a Vision Pro. I don't know how you can, like, I have not seen many videos of it, but there are people have seen it. MKBH have done video on it. If you want are interested in, go check out his channel. He has done a good video on it. So that is it with Samsung S25 Unpack series, which was quite an good. But the excited part was obviously voice assistant for me, and the Edge series that are going to get introduced, but much more voice assistant, and how like AI is going to shape the voice assistant models in phones. And ultimately, because I don't have product, I like products, like I can't get product for right now, for at least. But the reason I can get interested with this new software, because like majority of the people at least can use it. You know, not everyone is going to just go and buy the new phones. Products, software products, apps, features are the one thing that most of the people can use it. And that is why I can't even talk about it. Like, that is the thing. So I hope there are new contextual series Siri gets update. And if you want to keep updated, do subscribe, because I'm going to definitely make a good video out of it. I'm going to give you weekly updates how my iPhone's AI features are doing. Like, are they even good, are they hallucinating in some kind of way, and how is Siri getting better. I can document it in my whole podcast here, basically on weekly basis. That will be definitely good. So I think that is it for this headline, that is Samsung Galaxy 25 Unpack voice assistant. I'm hoping Apple does it with Siri this time at least. Google is already there. They are not lazy enough to not add it on their Pixel series. I don't know why they haven't added, but they were waiting to launch with new phones. But yeah, this is it for, I think, voice assistant and Samsung 25. I was really happy with it. So let's take a short break, and after short break, we are going to talk about the OpenAI deep research agent, which is I'm also interested about. So after a short break, we will be right back. OpenAI has announced a new kind of a feature in their whole product line, basically. But the new agent that they have announced last week only, it is known as deep research. Deep research. So if you don't get it, it's literally in its name. It does deep research for you. So I think OpenAI is doing such a great things with their product, but outside of like whatever it is, whatever they are doing it, their whole non-profit to profit converting thing, and then Elon Musk taking, or even just trash tweeting about OpenAI, like I can buy OpenAI, like giving offers to OpenAI online on Twitter, 95 billion, I think, kind of a dollar. And Sam Altman replying to it, it was like, we can buy, we are not interested to buy gas to sell OpenAI, but we are interested to buy Twitter with $9 billion. Basically, the joke here is basically that Twitter is valued. Elon Musk bought Twitter for $40 billion, but the Twitter valuation has got down so much. It's right now I think for $9 billion. So, and then again Elon Musk with his own style replied in the, I think in the, with that same tweet underneath with swindler. I don't know what that means. But OpenAI announced deep research, which is an agent that everyone can use it, which is basically free to use it. Basically, like all free users do get a chance to use their product. That is what I really like. Like, there are no kind of an product like things they are introducing, like their voice assistant. You can use their latest voice assistant for limited amount of, basically with limited amount of prompts, with limited amount of time in a month. Same with their 4o model, 4o omni model, and their base model is basically free. You can do whatever things with it. And their, I think the deep research is also available for free. You can use it. And the best part about them is like we get to use majority of the product lineup, unless like there are other, like how there are other AI features that are just being behind paywall system. They are also doing paywall, OpenAI, but at least we can use it. Like that is what I really like, that we can use majority of the features of OpenAI. And I do use, if you want to like want to know how I extensively use ChatGPT, as much as how much, as much as uh, the amount of ChatGPT I use is the more amount right now than any, like the more amount than I spend on, like more amount of time that I spend on Instagram. So basically, I think I use Instagram for 30 minutes. I use more than 2 to 3 hours on ChatGPT on my PC. Basically, you can say that. I use it for brainstorming ideas. I use it for like naming podcast, basically uh, naming the title of the podcast, giving me ideas about thumbnail, uh, trained it with the contextual like ability it has. It is so well, can do with so much kind of problems you have on your channel, on your basic things. Like even if things like, you know, with the help of the latest search thing, the voice assistant is so good that even if there are kind of you want to have a discussion with it, sorry, even if you want to have kind of a one-to-one discussion with the newer model, you can do it. It has so much great awareness of contextual and speech recognition that I definitely would recommend. If whenever you have kind of and want to brainstorm an ideas, do lot of things, like it like giving multiple options for a title of a video, giving if you are just stuck with how to explain stuff, you can just ask it like this is the topic, I want to explain it, but give me some points like I can explain it well. That is also, it does it so well. So that is where I do use it for for at least for me, that is the limit where I test, do where I use it. I still don't do to do due to till to this date I'm recording it, I still don't use it for research purpose. I still, even though they have search ability in their, in the chat gpt, I don't use, like I do use search. I do want to know where it is getting its content, and on from what websites. For at least I basically I want to do research about it too, because where they are getting their information from that. But major, if I want to do have kind of a research amount about a certain topics, if I'm want to make videos, I do not use ChatGPT. I use multiple browsers. I use Edge. I use browsers with multiple different engines, because I try to do multiple different options, like what Google is providing me, what, let's say, DuckDuckGo is providing me. I don't know people even know DuckDuckGo, but it is really not good. But it is also kind of a search engine that you can use it, which is I use it, like my Safari's default browser is DuckDuckGo, if you want to know. My I use Chrome. I majorly use Chrome on my phone, and on my PC I use Opera GX browsers. There was also uh, the company, I don't know the name, the Arc company, the Arc browser, which was good. I also signed it for beta, but the app was, I don't know, it was heavy or what, but it didn't well. It was so heavy that my it was not doing well with basically it was not doing well with the my piece, like my laptop. It was so heavy, more than Chrome. You can understand it if you know it. So that is what I use. What, like, most of the research is done by me individually, because I still don't trust it. It still hallucinate, and I don't want to get kind of an uh, used to the chat gpt and its reliability to do research for me. I would much rather do it myself, and which is not kind of a big thing for me. But then this new agent they have done is basically doing kind of a solution for my problems, which I don't know if it's a solution or not, but by the looks of it, it does look great. So basically, if what's deep research will do for you is the example they have given in their video, which is available on their website. You can go and check it, but I will simplify and talk, let you know what and how does it work. So let's say you are doing quite a research for, let's say, let's get with the simple things. Let's say you are doing research with uh, buying a laptop for your, let's say you have just completed your school, you are going to college, and you need a good laptop for you. So with the help of deep research, what you can do, basically you can tell the context you are in, like, hey, I'm going to college right now, I'm doing degree in, let's say, computer science, and I need a laptop with certain specifications that can run obviously the codes, and obviously the it should be sufficient enough to run all kind of programs. It should not be lacking behind those kind of basic things, and also it should be done, like, if you have certain kind of demand with certain kind of products, and you can give a prompt to it. So after giving a prompt, what it does, it taking the prompt, it just doesn't give a straight up answer like these are the all laptop and these are the laptops you can buy. What it does is just ask you question in return. So basically, let's say you are asking a question, let's again take that the same example about laptops. If you prompt that, what it will you give most probably is it will ask you counter questions like, what is your basically budget, what is your basic requirements, like in terms of if you don't know what kind of numbers, like say you are not kind of a tech person who knows what Intel, what AMD, what like this numbering system they have, the products they have. If you don't know, you can just tell it, I don't get this kind of stuff. You can uh, give me a simpler way in terms of research. But it asks you multiple counter questions and you have to answer those, and after answering those counter questions, it will go with its research. It can take more than between 10 to 30 minutes of time, as they have mentioned in their video. So it will take mostly 10 to 30 minutes of your time of your, it is not kind of a faster model. It is made for deep research, so it will go on the internet for you, search everything for you, the laptops according to your requirement, according to you the questions it you have answered for it. And then after, depending upon the topic, it will, after minimum at least I think it takes 10 minutes after topic, it will give you much more in depth according to your understanding of laptops, computers, and the products. And then it will give you detailed information about it, which is quite good. So basically what it does, it's search for you on. So if you don't know, last year, if you are much more on Twitter, you know this kind of products still exist. There are lots of AI companies out there, AI agents out there, who do a browsing on the internet for you, and it still exists. But what, so it is not new, but it was not getting integrated in these big AI products like big OpenAI with OpenAI, Gemini, or say Perplexity. I don't know, like Perplexity and other Claude. This kind of platforms, they have not, it was just not integrated in those. But now the deep research is basically that does what it does is basically do and get do search for yourself, like go on the internet, search it, and make it basically whatever. Basically it does researching for you, and you can check whatever the resources it has used. You can check, like it will definitely give you like it, like how the search GPT works. Basically it will give you links to the things, to the products. So according to the deep research, it will not just give you detailed information, it will give you in depth, and also in a really good formatted way. In a, like you can ask like, give me this all information in a table format so I can understand it well. It can do that. So it is customizable. It is much really hard customizable to the core, which is good. And also really good in terms of in-depth research. For I think it is really good for now, for students in high school, students in university, to help them with things, to brainstorm ideas, to brainstorm research. But uh, this is how it is at the basic context it works. One of the things I was interested is majorly what browser it is using, what product, like let's say it is doing the browsing for yourself. So what browser it is using itself. And what I saw there, it was using Microsoft Bing browser, which like clears out itself. Obviously it will be using Microsoft because OpenAI is kind of a part of a Microsoft owns majority of the OpenAI shares. So I was like, yeah, okay, Microsoft. Yeah, I was just saying, like they were giving, when you can go and see that basically on that video where they were deep research were using, and you can go there and see it, the Microsoft Bing browser is being used for research. But yeah, I wanted to know what browser it used. I think on fundamental level this is how it works, but if you, I want to know at least basic level of it, how it works. For now it does not have any kind of information out there, or even on their website, on their info, it like it is not there in depth, like how, which browser it works. Is it like I definitely more fascinated, like I am definitely more fascinated by the work, by how it works. Like let's say they are saying it browses for you. Is this kind of an, like it is running on a different, like on your server it is running on a browser, like kind of an like virtual machine doing on the cloud services, doing it for you and sending it back? Is this how it works? Or is Gemini O4, like what are the models, multi models are there combining with each other to get you that perfectly good formatted answers with your understanding, with personalized for everyone? So I'm interested in that actually. I'm doing research, do definitely doing research in that, like how it works. If I get much more deep into it, I will definitely make a whole podcast about it in future, like next month. Obviously I do not take, like if it is, if there is dead end I will not make it. If there is a good thing and you can benefit and it is interesting, then I will definitely share like how this model is working, and how basically it is working in the server. Like I will be definitely be helpful for that. But I really like this deep research, model. Fuck. uh, Other AI models, I don't know if other models like Perplexity, Gemini Live, or DeepSeek. DeepSeek does have that. I'm using DeepSeek still, researching on it, doing using it extensively too, like at least half an hour a day, and with using it kind of and for my basic things, that trying to do side by side research from for my DeepSeek video too. But DeepSeek is more kind of like it does feel like rough again, but it is more of a not polished product, but it is good in terms of answering too. It is good in terms of uh, like again the more plausibility factor for DeepSeek is like how at lower amount they have done it. That is the more plausibility factor rather than the overall product, I will say. Right now I'm using, but because I think 90% like not 90%, like at least 70% of the time it does gives me error, like it the servers are busy kind of a solution most of the time. So I get it why it gives me, but it is a good product. I'm going to do it. Gonna talk more about in future videos, in future podcasts. But right now, like if you want to use, again I'm saying it is only good. Don't rely too much on these things. Like I'm still, even if the product, even if deep research is kind of an, let's say, good, I don't I'm still not using for my research. I'm still doing my own research. It will be helpful for me to make have a good brainstorming ideas in deep research. That would be great, but not I will say it would be great in that. I'll be using in those kind of things, but again in terms of when it comes to research on day-to-day topics, on recent topics, I would much rather read myself, because it's not about ultimately hallucinating. It's much more becomes about, even can I trust these things. Like hallucinating is one thing, like even the information it is giving me, can I trust it? So ultimately if I'm back checking every other thing, what deep research or even what ChatGPT is giving me, even if I am back checking again it, then what's the point? Again I've been doing my own research, like it's just waste of time for now. So I will be not using much more extensively, but if you are a student, it is definitely useful. It is for free, you don't have to get anything uh, paid version for it, at least for now. And majority of the chat gpt or majority of the AI models are free. I don't think you should even take I don't subscription for it if you don't have money. Like and giving it money will provide you with something. Even I have not given, like even if I use, like I said, use it for 1 or 2 hours of a day, like sitting in front of me here on my second screen and trying to do, giving it giving it prompts, giving it problems, I still don't even after extensively using it, I still don't do the I still haven't gotten the subscription. And so think about it before getting it. But for now I think deep research is good for my verdict for now. And if you want to use it, do go and check it out. Always do go and check it out. Products are like this whenever this kind of stuff occurs. Like you never know, you are part at where of AI right now, where like 5 years before, like looking backwards from now, you will be seeing, oh, that were the times where AI was, we were here. You know, where we look back and see 10 years from now and see how internet, how browsing was such a difficult thing to do. Like it was not optimized, how YouTube was not optimized 5 years 6 years from before. The products are just getting better and better with each day. That is how it works, that is how products work, that is how software products work. So it will be getting better and better. Therefore ChatGPT is 10x time better than when it was around. Like if you follow me, uh, and if you follow basically using it, you don't have to be a kind of an tech analyst for it, but you can just see it with your own eyes. So that is it for, I think, for deep research. I will be using it, I will be giving my review on this podcast, obviously updating it every week how it is going on. I am much more excited about this Sora model, but it is under the subscription, and I don't know if I will get the subscription for it right now. But for me, the concerning part again is the bad actors using it, bad people using it for misinformation, disinformation, creating disinformation. So I hope no like they do have good matches for it. For now, that is it for deep research. We will take another break here in between, and this is it for deep research. After a break, we will going to be talking about metas replacing fact checkers, and continuing with community notes like Twitter, like X, after a short break. So what Meta is doing right now, with it was announced 2 weeks before, like I think just at the 2 or 3 weeks, it has 3 weeks I think has happened to it, just after I think Trump administration took over the house. Basically now the Trump is kind of is a president. So Meta announced basically they are replacing fact checkers with community notes. So giving kind of a context to viewers who don't know what is fact checkers, who don't know who are fact checkers, and what is fact checker, and don't know what is community notes, that X or Twitter uses it. So what fact checkers are? So basically fact checkers are a group of people which is independently in kind of an not affiliated. Basically they are not in kind of an inner company of Meta. They are a separate organization who handles multiple things when it comes to fact checking, not just one platform, but Meta is kind of in there, you can say a big part of it, where on basically it's an internet social media platform where stuff get posted. When there is misinformation also get posted, disinformation also get posted, and to fact check those things there are fact checkers where this organization has. So there are multiple fact checkers organization. One of them was with Meta. So Meta was, I think they having the fact checkers are being introduced with or have relationship with Meta since 2016. They are having fact checkers organization helping Meta with fact checking. So what fact checkers does is basically fact check an information if it's true, if it's not good, if it's not it's kind of a misinformation, and if people are just posting for views, if people are posting misinformation for views, it flags. So it flags in the sense they flag it as misinformation and remove from the basically from the platform. And there are multiple things, they remove it, they limit its reach, they limit its kind of or even completely remove that post or limit its reach to a certain audience only, or don't even bother it, it will not even go, they will not remove it but they will not push it even, those kind of things. And then there is disinformation, where I think whenever there is disinformation on the platform, then there is kind of an removal of the post definitely and giving a warning, those kind of thing happens. But not just misinformation, they do also look forward towards hate speech. They also I think look forward towards fish I think multiple things, but this is their main thing. Like you can say there who catch who does misinformation or disinformation. Disinformation who means the disinformation means that the information that they are giving is not even real, it's just they are creating on it. And the misinformation thing is the part they are telling, like the article that has been posted, the video that has been posted is uh, is in fact good, is in fact uh, is in fact good, and is in fact not a disinformation with the the information is not created or kind of an, it is it is good, but the facts they are speaking basically, let's say they are saying uh, let's say they are saying kind of and like it is kind of a misinformation means let's say a person post an article about 100 people have been reported uh, by 100 Apple users, or millions of apples of users uh, have been like millions of Apple products have been hacked, or millions of Apple iPhones have been hacked. And just for getting some views. It is that guy has posted kind of a million number, which in fact is not true. But the fact is only thousands of iPhones have been hacked, which kind of an misinformation. Those kind of things who do it for views to get reach. But this is where fact checkers come. Fact checkers are a big part of a social media community, and they do well basically, but they are being replaced by the community nodes that X uses for longer period of time to this day. So what is community nodes? Let's talk about what community nodes is. So community nodes is again done by the organization, not by a different organization. Let's say community nodes is done by the people who are using platform. Let's say I am a user of a X. I'm using X for more than at least 6 years. I post it frequently there, and I find the information that, like, or a tweet or an article that or a video that has been posted by someone on that flag platform, and then I report it saying it is a misinformation. Here is the article that it is being used. So basically community nodes is basically about, in its name, it's kind of a community thing. So basically if you want to be in community node organization, basically by what X does is basically are the users of X. What they do is basically, if you want to be a part of a community or node fact checkers, you have to at least use X for, I think, for 3 months, and every X user can be a fact checker in the community node fact checking. So it is kind of an self reporting and self thing, which does gives basically, let's say, the information that people are saying right now in front of them, and they are fact checking it, and it is misinformation. So they can provide an article saying this is a fact, and that the posted video or posted tweet or posted even article is basically wrong, and not, this is not how it is. And community node will be down in that node, which will help readers to have context, like platform users to have context, to let them know themselves, okay, the tweet was basically a misinformation or a rage bait kind of a thing. Those kind of things, just getting for some views. That is where community news is. But comparing fact checkers with community nodes, basically both are fundamentally, like, even if you can say basically they are same, but they are still different. Community nodes can be, like, I can be a community node fact checker, like every other person who you are on the platform X can be a community node fact checker. And that is where the problem arises, and that is where the concerns arises about community nodes, that it can be manipulated by the people. So basically, let's say a tweet has been tweeted out, and the community node fact checkers want reported it large amount of time and gave kind of an article about it. Let's say that information or the tweet that has been posted, which is not kind of an information, but is a misinformation, and they post, let's say, that is wrong, and this is how the new article, and this is basically corrected one. But you don't know if it's a corrected one or not. The fact checkers basically on community nodes are driven by people. Like, if they want to, let's say, people, most of the concern about community nodes is basically it can be manipulated by its own made platform people. That is why most of the community nodes, like, are kind of an towards, I'm not saying kind of an towards certain people, but I'm trying to say they are not as active as fact checkers, I will definitely say. But fact checkers, but the same concerns can be raised towards fact checkers. Fact checkers can get biased. So basically, like, how people are not have faith in community nodes, that it can be getting manipulated, it can be, like, even if the proof of article, even if the article they are giving at a note is kind of do not have kind of an context, do not have kind of an, you can say, you can say, even if the article that has been posted by the community note is not even fact checked, even if the article is wrong, then what's the point of it? You know what I'm trying to say? It can be manipulated in that way. But when you come to fact checkers, people can say the same thing about fact checkers. Let's say if these people fact checkers wants to want doesn't but doesn't wants to basically uh, do the same, like attack certain group of people, attack, uh, give fact checking and giving flag, and remain, do not basically uh, give that content a boost or remove that content by giving information to Meta, they can do it. They, like same argument can be listed for again for the same fact checkers too. But the problem here is the data says it's all. Basically, what I mean by that, for like using X for more than 2 years now, and using Instagram, Meta platform, Thread. I think Instagram and Threads has been at least 1 year. Instagram I've been using for like past 5 years, and Facebook I've been using for like the last 1 year. So, and for what I feel the difference between both platforms is when I compare to, I definitely really like the concept of community note, giving a community note in behind if the content is misinformation, disinformation, or if, just a rage bait. I like that thing. But the problem occurs when I see when the problem occurs when it is not, it does not do well with every kind of an, like community note is kind of an, like I can say, people driven. It is not done extensively, like it is not done well enough that majority of the posts that are been discussed or that have been posted, they don't even check if it's a fact check or not. I have seen most of the tweets like past 6 months now, and that they are misinformation, creating rage bait just to get some views, just to get some replies underneath their post, and the community note was not even noted there. Like I was like, why community note is not there? Why community note is acting there? Like this kind of thing. And one of the major things about the community note is it it does not give a kind of a context. But what I like about community notes again is at least we are seeing visibly what why the post is given the community note, and that leaves the proof of things that why they feel to give it a community note under it. But when it comes to fact checkers, let's say when I'm using Meta's platforms for multiple years, when it comes to those, I have been kind of an not a good, um, personally I don't have kind of an good conversation, or let's say good, uh, I'm not getting the words. But personally, when it comes to fact checkers, I have not faith in those two. Basically, it shows data basically from both after using it for years now, both platforms with community note and the fact checkers, both can be not be trusted at the same time, you can say that. The problem with community note, again I'm saying the same problem can be said for fact checkers. And like I personally do trust more fact checkers than community notes, because community notes, people, anyone can be in the community note and anyone can do just fact checking, and can attack certain kind of posts, can attack certain kind of uh, people. But when it comes to at least fact checkers, they are, at least mob of people can't be attack certain kind of things, but it is still can be biased. It is still can, I'm not denying the fact that lots of people were having this conversation where like, are even fact checkers not have their biases? They can do have, like there is no such kind of a neutral thing. But my point here is from both platforms, like from both kind of a method, from community node, from the kind of can say, you can say fact checkers, is how about we combine both? Because personally I do want to know why that kind of an information, why that my post, certainly I have done more than 100 articles and posted it on Facebook, why my couple of posts have been removed. Like I still to this day remember when I did a in-depth kind of a research, not in-depth, it was kind of an commentary, or you can say you can commentary, or the situation was going around the Telegram CEO, which was arrested in the last year in basically in Europe. I don't remember. I think in France. I think, yeah. So he was arrested for, basically there were some charges there, and I did a full basically research, full newsletter on it, and I think the title of the video, title of the that newsletter is how, like, about Telegram CEO, and that post got removed the second day. Like it did not, like the second, the I think the first day I posted it, I got notification at the night at 11 p.m. I didn't see it, whatever it is. Then and in the morning I see it when I open my Facebook, that my post has been removed by saying that um, I have been posting this just because they're kind of in, like, the post was reported, the post was being reported by people, or not people, I don't know what about people, or fact checkers, or Facebook did it themselves, but that post was removed, and the reason they gave me was I was doing phishing. I was intentionally trying to get people to do phishing. I don't know where they come from that. It was just an article. It was just an article that you can just click on it and read it. That is what our majority of the articles I posted, like that are the newsletters. And it has not just been happened for me once, multiple times to this day, like multiple times that my uh, uh, there are multiple times that from my Facebook posts have been removed, articles have been removed. You can go, I do have some screenshot, I will show it on the screen if I found ones, but I still don't get how fact checkers works. I still don't know how they work. At least I know how community note work, how those things work, how reporting works on platforms, but at least I get to have the context why my posts are getting removed on, and people actually see it, actually, that is my thing, is like, there is no transparency in fact checkers for me, at least how they do it. I'm still making and doing research and getting to know how they do fact checking, but I don't know what kind of transparency they have that people can trust them over community node. Again, I still do have trust on fact checkers more than community nodes, because community nodes can be get manipulated, but fact checkers have not done their job well too, you see. And one of the things that Zuckerberg kind of pointed out in the Joe Rogan podcast was the biasness, and I do still think that biasness exists everywhere. Like, people will have biases, even journalists have biases, but the main part here is who is providing misinformation, disinformation, uh, hate speech, and also rage baiting, basically those kind of things. And you have to point out that, okay, even if it is someone has been posted by some high profile account, it is kind of a misinformation that he has been providing, disinformation if it is. That is what main point is there. And I don't think Instagram has done it. I don't think even Facebook has done it well. I don't think even Threads does it well, you know. And I don't think even community knows, no any kind of platforms does well when it comes to whatever the misinformation that has been posted on the platform can do checking, and there has to be certain kind of way, because it gets worse on the platform. And I hope there is some kind of formula like community note, where there will be a note in bit when I watch a reel, or not just me, or even people generally, whenever they watch a reel, they don't get information, the important information like political information is not going to get being served to you, and you will not get the whole context of it in just 20 in just 60-minute video, 60-second video, or 2 minute, or even 3 minute. It is a conflict situation. And then when some certain kind of journalist, when certain kind of video creator manipulates that information and borderline tries to cross the some limits, then there is kind of misinformation, disinformation does happen. So that has not been solved issue in Instagram, and I don't think their concern is that, because Instagram is getting more towards content creators and getting more towards about how we can provide more features to measure out with the people, rather than thinking about these basic problems they have for been like last 4 to 5 years that I have been using at least. And same is happening on, I think, what X, basically Twitter. At least uh, I don't mind X, because majority of the people don't even use it. Most of that, I think, compared to what Instagram does it with their reels, you know. Same with the YouTube. Like people will not get the whole context of anything with the shorter form content. And what happens because of that, it creates ripple, if like you can say, kind of a chains of events of misinformation. And the only people who are correcting it are the people on the platform, rather than the platform itself giving the flag to that content, that how misinformation is that, how bad, if it's kind of a hate speech, if it's kind of a misinformation, platform doesn't work that well, any platform. So basically, going from any kind of, from fact checkers to community notes, to fact checkers, both ultimately fail in terms of my eyes, basically in my opinion. Both are not good. But if you, both are not good, both have their own problems, but I still to this day trust fact checkers more, because community notes is like how, when I saw how they operated, when I saw how everyone can be just a community note poster, I'm like, if they can buy a blue mark with a blue mark, that blue tick mark, a bot can buy it, and do, and people get paid for that, having those kind of rage, hateful comments in between, in into the replies. I don't think that's a big thing if there are so many kind of people who are doing community notes, bots or paid people. I don't, like, I can definitely see that too. So those are not good, these are not also, like, but comparing, like, both are bad in this situation, both are bad in this situation. But I like, fact checkers are a little bit above, but I hope they find a good solution for it, because when I compare both, they are not both good, basically. So this is what basically what is, what the war was going also on the internet, basically, for last, now it has been dulled down. No one even talk about it right now, until and unless there will be a kind of an event happens. But lots of people were talking how community notes is good, lots of people talking how fact checkers are good. Neither do both of them are good. Yeah. But I think the major reason to do come from going from fact checkers to community was basically the, I personally think it was political game by Meta, where Trump is a president who is there to kind of an oppose them to get, and at least government is not opposing them to use community notes, because Elon Musk uses, and Elon Musk is close to Trump. Like, there is kind of that kind of political angle that I don't want to go in deep. And lots of things that did happen during Trump inauguration, after 1 week of Trump inauguration by Meta, uh, kind of an having, like, how Zug go Zug go from community notes to fact checkers to community notes, going to Joe Rogan podcast and saying how censorship because of the government Biden administration, how they had to basically quiet down. Like he also, like, I think posted on threads how on the lockdown so many things were censored because of government forceful nature. And I'm like, uh, these were things were happening. And he also said that they were not going to censor the sensitive topics, like I think health related topics, I think political topics like immigration in US that happens, censor topics like what X does. Basically there is going to be much more people who are going to be like you, there will be much more post about political content, I think, much more post about health related, because people like to play around those more, because much more people are interested in health and politics these days. But more you, if you don't be surprised if you get to see more political posts in your for you page on Instagram, or even for you page on threads, Facebook, you know, because they are not now censoring these issues. I still to this day think that there should be moderation, and the moderation should be personalized. Like at least I like what threads has done basically past 2 months, where they have given the ultimately custom feeds. You can do whatever you want, kind of a personal feed, and make it public now. So basically let's say I have created a kind of an like this 10 to 15 people thread, I can add up to 12 or 120 people in one feed that have been created, and I can basically share it to public. This is the thread, this is the basically feed I have created. You can join it too, and you can join it and see it too, like enjoy it. So basically it's kind of a community, no, it's kind of like a community on X, but a kind of giving a personalized touch to everyone. Like everyone can create a feed of their own, like how I have created a tech feed where whatever the tech news happens posted on those posted by those like platforms like Verge, 9 to 5 Mac, 9 to 5 Google, those will be posted on that only one feed, so I don't have to follow those people or like those organizations. I just have to add them to my feed, and that is what great with the feed says. And I also praise them so much lot for that. So at least they are going towards right direction there, but I don't know how backfires it, the fact checkers kind of thing will backfire it. I still, they are not like it will be done in obviously first US, then Australia, then Europe. I don't think worldwide that is how it works. So for now the fact checking thing, this is what it is. A lot of like a lot of changes did happen to a lot of platforms due to political factors. But most of the people, especially like says like how OpenAI wants a kind of a big like OpenAI how have gotten big kind of an investment of like they are doing 500 half $1 trillion of investment people are going to do, and government has given them permission to do multiple facilities. Then Microsoft is like if you have seen the inauguration picture, how billionaires were there because they want to get their stuff done. That is why they have to ultimately, I don't think ultimately like these big giant companies care about that much which administration is there. Like even if it was not Trump, they would have gone and they wanted to the company, they want they like every company, Meta, X, like let's say X, every social media company, every big company like Amazon too wants to be under the government, wants to be good friends with any government that comes. But this is kind of a favored government that they always want, I think they wanted to be, and they can have much more kind of an can be able to do with I think Trump administration than the before Democratic Party was there. I don't know how will this turns out. uh, the Stargate project is a big project that has been approved by government there. Then there is a lot of things that has been approved, but I think let's see how it goes. How, like, you, as you can see, it is always not simple as that is, like how with government changing, like they have to look into a lot of things, because in a company millions, thousands of people are working there. So it is not as simple as to bring out some things. But uh, this is it for, I think, today's episode of the Tech Guy podcast. I hope you guys see you in the next week, where I will be talking, I don't know, mostly about YouTube, some kind of changes they are doing it with. And yeah, this is it for today's episode, I think. Yeah, the DeepSeek, I think I wanted to do a DeepSeek dedicated podcast, just for DeepSeek and what it is, but the people have already jumped on it. And the thing is, I want to do in-depth thing on it, like not just a 20-30 minute discussion on it like a topic in a podcast. I can do a in-depth deep research DeepSeek podcast, where in the next, you never know. If you want to know the next week podcast, like basically topics that I'm going to talk, you go check my newsletter, where every Monday you will get an idea of what I'm going to talk this week. So yeah, this is it for this week episode of the Tech Guy podcast. I think it was 12th episode or 13th, I don't know. This is it for this week Tech Guy podcast episode. I hope you guys see you in the next week. And podcast, it is a podcast. I do want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget that. Okay, see you guys in the next week. See ya.